Hello, welcome to the makeup videos for CS256 Fall 2014. Welcome to this snowy day here. I canceled coming in to give these lectures because it's pretty darn snowy out. So this is the first of them. This is Chapter 3, and Chapter 3 is basically near the end of it is where we have some GUI examples for the first time. There's also GUI examples in chapters 4, 6, 7, 8. So 4, 6, 7, and 8, and chapter 3, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. So somewhere down here is where this all starts. This actually shows a breakdown of the chapters we're going to be going over. So first we're going to check out dialog boxes, then we're going to check out some simple drawings, basic lines on the screen. Finally we'll get to ovals, colors, and some arcs, and then we'll get to various other types of shapes. So dialog boxes is not sort of a new concept. A lot of applications today use dialog boxes. This is just a window in which to display important messages, and we use the class JOptionPane to provide some pre-built dialog boxes, and we'll see how that looks in code. This is a simple show message dialog for welcome to Java. So the way that looks and works, let me go over to my Java Eclipse. So the way that works in code, this is actually the addition function here, but we'll look at this one in a little bit too. So we're going to do a show message dialog null, and then just some message, javax.swing. So swing is the name of the Java package that's used for drawing basic stuff like this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say JOptionPane dot stop show message dialog. This is the one we want. Pass in null. And we're going to say something like welcome to Java. So if we run this guy, we'll see that the message box comes up, and this is just a floating message box that you can move around on the screen. So Swing provides the default functionality for being able to move this around the screen and then click OK on it, and that clicks OK off. And that's pretty cool, because normally we would have to do quite a bit in C++ or some other language if we wanted to achieve the ability to move that around. GUI components are basically a nice way to facilitate data entry, and we're going to show you how to do that with some arguments. We're going to basically take some arguments and add them. This is also called with a static method. So you go class name dot method name, so Java option pane dot show message dialog. And show input dialog will return a string contained by the characters typed by the user. So if we want to get input, instead of doing a read line like we've done before, we're going to do show input dialog, and that's going to give us a text field in which we can enter our input. So let's take a look at how this works. We're going to basically do joptionpane.show input dialog and message equals string.format name to create the actual message, and then show message dialog. So joptionpane show input dialog null. So look, welcome to Java plus name plus why not an exclamation mark. There we go. Let's give this a shot. So I'm going to type in my name here, Ben, and I'm going to click OK. Welcome to Java, Ben. So that's basically how that's done. And of course, there's no space between the Java and Ben because I didn't write it as such. I just said welcome to Java, and then immediately plus after that. If I wanted a space, I would have to put a space right there. So that is basically how that's done, and that is the end of chapter 3. Now there is a example that was given at the end of chapter 3 that I'd like to show you that I've got typed up here in addition.java. So this is how that looks. This is basically meant to add two numbers together, and if we run this, I'll show you what it can do. So now the first integer, say we enter the integer 4 and the integer 5, so we're going to expect 9. The sum is 9. So it's adding those two together. And it's doing that by a first number equals joption.show input dialog enter first integer, and second number equals joptionpane show input dialog enter second integer. And then it does a parse int on each of these, adds the two together, and passes it back to a show message dialog. So pretty simple. Nothing too complex going on here, and I think we might as well jump to chapter 4 while we're at it. So probably this current video will show chapters 3 and 4. I should be able to fit that in. And then we'll go on to the remaining chapters in subsequent videos. Okay, so this next part, chapter 4.14, shows you how to do some simple shape drawings. And we use the Java coordinate system for identifying points in the screen. Upper left, importantly, that would be up here, starts with 0, 0. And from there, it goes up in the x and up in the y. X is the horizontal coordinate, so it's going from 0 up to, say, 480 or so, depending on what your size of your thing is, of your resolution, from 0 to 800 on this side. So on the x-axis is every horizontal coordinate, and the y-axis is every vertical coordinate. Coordinate usage measures pixels, and that is just one little pixel on the screen. Smallest unit of resolution. This shows the positive x-axis, and y-axis. We're going to need the graphics class from java.awt from this, and jpanel to provide an area in which we can draw. So here's the basic, how the basic code looks. Import java.awt.graphics, import javax.swing.jpanel, and then extend jpanel, paint the component. So this is one case where we don't use main. Instead we call paint component, which is overridden, and then we paint that component and draw a line from the upper left to the lower right, and from the lower left to the upper right. So just so I get this right, java.awt.graphics, import javax.swing.jpanel, and now basically what we need to do is we have to say public class test printer extends jpanel, public void paint component graphics G. We have to call a superclass. Call the get width, this gets the window width. Call the height, this gets the window height. We can do g.drawLine to draw it in the window, starting at 0, 0, to the width, height. So this draws a line from one x coordinate and one x and one y, so x1, y1 to x2, y2. All right, give this a go. This is still running that old one. I need to close that out. And I forgot I have to add in the main to call the correct paint here. Okay, I just sped up time so I could show you how that looks in the main. I made a quick static void main inside of test printer that just makes a new test printer. Test printer panel equals new test printer, and then a new JFrame. This has to set a default close operation, and then we can add that to the panel, and then set the size to 250 by 250. And that's what we get. So from there, things start to get a little bit easier because now we know how to draw lines. We can start drawing all kinds of complex pictures with just that simple line drawing. Keep in mind that the keyword extends is what we call inheritance, and that you really haven't done much inheritance yet, but you can do it in this simple case where you're just doing a draw panel and that inherits jpanel. The paint component method is the one that actually was overridden in this case, and we called the super for it, super.paint component, which called the upper class for paint component. And then we use the get height and the get width, and we draw a line between the 2 points. And that's about it for chapter 4. We will see you next time for 6, 7, and 8.